Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy. Today I'm sharing with you some Thanksgiving side dishes and a ham if you are not a turkey person. In my pan, I am putting my boneless ham. The recipe actually called for a bone-in ham, but I didn't get that whenever I ordered my ham. So I'm just covering it up with some aluminum foil. I'm gonna pop that into a 350-degree oven for about an hour or so. Now I'm moving on to a green bean casserole. I am not a huge fan of green bean casserole, but this recipe was spot on. It was very good. So I used canned green beans. You can use frozen green beans. I particularly don't care for frozen green beans, so I'm using canned. I have 1 cup of Colby Jack cheese, 1 can of cream of celery, and then half a cup of heavy cream. The recipe called for half and half, but I don't buy that usually for anything, so I just went ahead and used heavy cream. Now I'm going to put it into my 9x13 baking dish that I do have sprayed with some olive oil, and I'm just going to spread it out nice and evenly. I'm now adding in another cup of Colby Jack cheese on top, and then I'll add about 1 cup of the French fried onions. I fried up some bacon in the air fryer. I'm going to chop that up and then add that on top of the casserole. The recipe said to bake it for 25 minutes. However, after 25 minutes, it seemed like it was still too gooey or something. So I put it back in the oven for about another 10 minutes and it was perfect. Now I'm starting in on my stuffing. I have some Swaggerty sausage in my skillet with some onions and celery and a few sliced mushrooms. Once I have that all cooked, I will add in some chicken broth, and once that chicken broth starts boiling, then I'll add in the stuffing mix. I also put in some rubbed sage. Now I'm going to start making the glaze for the ham. I have 2 cups of apple cider and some honey. I should have turned my bottle upside down before getting started on cooking, but I forgot to do that. So I'm having to hold the bottle while the honey gets into the apple cider. Now, as you can see, my chicken broth was boiling, so I'm adding in that stuffing mix. I'm just going to kind of mix it up just a little bit and let it cook down a little bit because there was a lot of broth in there. Now I'm adding in some cider vinegar to the glaze mixture and some Dijon mustard. So you want to get the glaze boiling, so I turned it on high. Whenever you're cooking and you have a toddler, you become distracted sometimes, and this is what happens. I was so upset that this happened. It made a huge mess on my stove. All of that was just getting burned onto the stovetop. It was just gross trying to clean it up, but the glaze was still good. Now in my glaze, I'm adding some chili powder, some butter, and then some apple pie spice. This glaze was really good. I'm gonna mix that up a little bit, and then I do pour it over top of the ham. I don't show that part, but I do pour it over top of the ham and then put it back in the oven uncovered for a little bit longer. This is what it looked like. It was so good. Amelia loved it. She said that was her favorite dish. It was very good. And then you do want to reserve about a cup of that glaze for serving. And this is what the green bean casserole looked like. Jason is not a casserole fan, but he really enjoyed that and said that he thought everyone would like it, so I'm definitely going to fix it for Thanksgiving. I did want to serve butternut squash with this meal as well. However, it was getting late. Kason was getting cranky. The girls needed to get their showers and get in the bed for school the next day. So I ended up making the squash after everyone was in the bed because I already had it peeled. So the first thing that you need to do with the squash is peel it, peel the outside of it, and then you're going to cut it up into 1-inch cubes. And even with having a really good chef's knife here, this was hard to cut. I don't know if I'm getting weaker in my old age or what, but this was a little difficult to cut on some of the pieces. Now that my squash is all cut up, I'm going to put it onto a sheet pan. I do have it lined with parchment paper just for easy cleanup. I'm now going to drizzle some olive oil on top of the squash and then just get in there with my hands and mix it all up. Now the recipe called for salt and garlic powder. I did not have garlic powder, so I used garlic salt. Since using the garlic salt, I just completely omitted using regular salt because I didn't want it to be too salty. And you also use pepper and Italian seasoning. Now in the past, I have always used brown sugar whenever making butternut squash or acorn squash, but using that Italian seasoning and the garlic salt completely changed the flavor. It was so good. I will definitely be making this for Thanksgiving. This was so good that I was eating it directly off the sheet pan. It was delicious. Definitely try this. If you like butternut squash, definitely give this a try. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I hope you and your family have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.